Is there a game with more baggage than Ocarina of Time? I mean, it's impossible to talk about it. You look it up, 96% out of 100. What makes it great 20 years later? I don't know, probably the fact that it's just a really good game. But if you start to look a little deeper, you'll start to find, okay, not that, no, Brental Flow, okay. It's always been one of those best game of all time games, but there's a growing lens of criticism towards it, and I'm not saying its flaws shouldn't be pointed out, but it's led to a weird dichotomy online where the only people that still talk about it are either blinded by nostalgia or filthy contrarians. Of course, I don't really fall into either camp. First time I ever played it was when I got the collector's disc for the GameCube, and I couldn't figure out how to get the sword, so I just played Super Mario Sunshine. By the time I finally beat it, I was well into my teenage years with a deep understanding of contextual button prompts, and after making quick work of this tunnel, the game blew me away. The sense of epic adventure is unparalleled, even within the series. It's such a rich world with secrets to discover and quests to conquer. Everywhere has this feeling of deep-rooted history, and I think plenty of people tend to forget just how dark this game can be. I mean, who doesn't remember exploring the forest and buying the shield? But what about right after that, when the Great Deku Tree asks you to purge the curse that resides within his very being? As the camera pans through the Deku Tree's interior, music envelops the scene. This once great, sprawling structure has been completely overgrown by vines, cobwebs, and parasites that have festered within. It's clear that this place was once sacred, but now dying, and human eyes haven't laid upon it for tens or even hundreds of years. And Ocarina of Time manages this every single time you find somewhere new. It masterfully teaches you about its world and the civilizations that inhabit it, each with their own customs, traditions, and an underlying history that you slowly unravel as you keep playing. Take a look at this BBC. Big, blocky castle. These hallways, courtyards, and corridors all have a story to tell, but nothing is explicitly stated. Clearly, the structure is man-made, but it's decrepit and full of monsters. Did this happen over the 7 years Link was gone, or has it been like this even longer? For a forest temple, it sure looks more like a mansion than a place of worship. Did someone live here? What was its purpose? It almost seems like it was abandoned while it was being built. And there must be magic in these halls, because this one does the 360. The fire temple seems to be a prison of some kind. The water temple might be a palace. The shadow temple is a goddamn mausoleum. This game is grim. What the hell, Nintendo? I'm desecrating the royal tomb and getting all grabbied up. And this game is rated E? For violence? I mean, yeah, I guess so. You whack some stuff with your sword and see some green blood. The combat is, well, I wouldn't call it deep, but the complaint I always hear about you just waiting, and waiting, and waiting. Okay, now you can hit him. Seems more fitting of Dark Souls than Ocarina of Time. If you don't experiment, then yeah, you're gonna do a lot of waiting. But when you realize that different items and strategies are effective against different enemies, you're gonna have a lot more fun than you would holding Z and jump slashing. End of the day, it is the first 3D Zelda, and it took like 3 games before they figured out how to make 2D work, so of course there's gonna be some hiccups, like the puzzles. The best puzzles are the ones that take more time to find the answer than to execute it. And this right here, this ain't it. I figured out what to do when I walked in the room. But there's also some really neat puzzles that test your spatial awareness in 3 dimensions, which is honestly stunning considering this is the first time these guys tried to make puzzles with the Z-axis. As far as these eyes, yeah, they're not the best puzzles, but to me, they're puzzles in the same way that walking across Hyrule Field or opening a door is a puzzle, in that it isn't one. It's a way to keep you conscious of 3D space and to navigate the environment. Ocarina of Time is a game that triumphantly entered the 3rd dimension while writing the book on how to do it. The fact that we're still talking about this game 20 years later is proof enough of the impact it's had. It's a masterstroke of design, even by modern standards, partially because it defined modern standards. There is not a world more charming, bright, and grim as Hyrule.
Can I give it a 4 out of 5?